by Kansas City. 25-20, 15-10, 5. Welcome home, Isaiah Pacheco. It is good, good, good. Who got him? Chris Jones got him. Mahomes looks that way. He's going to go wide open left side. Kelsey, touchdown. The Chiefs get a 28-18 victory. How sweet it is, because we announced to you that it's time to announce the Chiefs are the only unbeaten team left in the NFL in 2024. Mitch Holthus with you along with Matt McMullen. But how cool is it to be 6-0 and the only unbeaten team?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome being 6-0 right now, despite all the adversity we've faced this season with injuries and tough opponents that we've beaten as well. I mean, think about this. We've beaten Baltimore, Cincinnati, the Chargers on the road, and now the San Francisco 49ers once again in their house. Pretty awesome.
And road wins all over the place here. 3 road wins on all of these first 6. But a complete game. All 3 phases contribute in this game. We'll talk about it as the show goes on.
Well, yeah, this defense is the best defense in the NFL. I won't accept any other illusions that another defense is better. And the offense got it done when it mattered, so that in the second half. And special teams, how about McCole Hardman today with that 50-yard punt return?
We're going to jump into all that as the show goes on, but now let's jump to the podium and hear what Big Red has to say.
Thank you to our fans for being here amongst the red. We brought some more red, and those guys were great. Overall, I thought it was just a good team performance. There were a lot of good things that happened on the defensive side, the offensive side, special teams. Offensively, 184 yards rushing. I mean, who would think of Pat Mahomes talking about his runs, but he had a couple nice ones. But, you know, all 3 running backs did a heck of a job there, I thought. The third downs were great. Nags had a great plan, I thought, for these guys as we went forward, 8 for 14 on third down. The red zone, we were better there than what we've been with 4 out of 5 happening there. Scores, that last drive, just bearing down, putting the hammer down on that was important. That was physical. None of this can take place without the offensive linemen on the offensive side. So, and then getting McCole involved, both on special teams and on the offensive side, was great. And then I mentioned Kareem, but 78 yards and 22 carries. He's a beast in there. So, as were the other guys. Defensively, I thought we just played great football, and 3 picks, 3 turnovers against real good offense there. And in some area categories, I mean, they were first in the National Football League. That led to 14 points. So 3 turnovers, 14 points. Great thing. Justin Reed is just playing like an all-pro, which he is in our mind. So, but he came out and had the 8 tackles, and again leading the team in tackles and an interception, along with Wallace and Hicks, 2 young guys contributing in their third downs, 2 for 11 again. Against a good offensive team. And the special teams, Ariza, I mean, you got to take your hat off to him with the field position part of it. It's so important in this league. So he did a nice job. He was back in California. So he was using all that air out there. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
You talked about the better play in the red zone, obviously the most one. Any reason, anything to put your finger on there?
No, I mean, we did. The place we did well was on no penalty. So, I mean, that ends up being important when you get down in there and you don't take anything away from yourself. And that's kind of hurt us, the last few games. But it was a great scheme. It was schemes that we used in there. It was, the guys executed well in there. So all around it was good.
Andy, you guys had only the 2 interceptions all season before today. Each of them seemed to have its own little story to them. Justin seemed to do that really well. And the drop off on the Wallace interception that hits in the end zone. I wonder if you could just elaborate on what enabled.
Yeah, well, Spags does a great job of with the different schemes, the different personnel groups. I mean, you think about this now, 2 rookies being able to jump in on this thing and being a part of it, and then putting them in position where, and them doing it to make plays. But he's the best in the business of what he does, and he did a great job with the scheme part of it, and the players love all that stuff. They all get to be a part of it and contribute.
And I don't know if you would have seen this, but it looked like Patrick got literally punched in the throat on that interception. Did you see, he's always fired up, but did you see any change in his demeanor After that,
Yeah, you probably noticed his voice isn't very. No, I didn't say anything. I didn't.
Couldn't injuries, you guys had to change your stripes a little bit. You talked about putting on a run game. When that happens, is that a challenge you kind of enjoy a little bit, or is it frustrating?
Yeah, listen, I mean, you're going against good coaches, good players, two good football teams that have a history together. So Kyle does a great job with his staff and their players. And so you love that part of it. You love the competition part. As far as the run game, passing game, you're going to do what's working and try to mix it a little bit to keep them off balance. But that's a tough group. At 54, it doesn't allow you to keep them off balance too much. So he's a pretty good football player along with 97. They're both really good.
Maybe Jalen Watson, Juju, think of those are any kind of long-term?
Yeah, I think Jalen will be, yeah. I think. I mean, we'll see what the MRI says, but I don't think that's going to be great news.
and yet, I think this is right. I think Roland Wallace only maybe had one snap all season before. I think what does it take for a guy to be in the right place at the right time?
Yeah. So he's a real smart kid. We saw that in training camp. Picks things up easy. He's got a great feel for the game. Had that in college. He was able to transfer during camp. Again, my hat goes off to Veach for getting these guys. So I mean, we're playing a lot of different folks, and the guys are stepping up. So, but Roland he's a good football player. Yeah.
Andy, you guys are the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Can you put that in perspective when kind of considering the adversity, the injuries, and the other challenges that we've had?
Yeah, Jared. I mean, we got plenty of room to improve on things. Eventually, guys will start coming back. But the thing I appreciate the most are guys stepping up, and then the other guys trusting them to step up. So, and believing in them, and then the coaches just coach them. Each brings them in, coaches coach them, and I appreciate that to put us in this spot right here. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but I appreciate the attitude of the guys.
Coach Reed, Patrick Mahomes looked a little bit like a running back on his touchdown up the middle, lowered his shoulder, kind of trucked the guy.
Yeah, no, he did. He caught him just right. That guy's a good player and a good hitter. So Pat was able to drop his shoulder on him and get in the end zone. He wasn't thinking it was going to be like that, but he caught him off balance a little bit, and that happened. So, yeah.
And you talked about this before, but I assume you prefer Patrick avoid contact instead of seek it out?
Yeah, especially on those shoulders, but that's all right.
With McCaffrey out and then Samuel and Ayuk also being injured during the game, is there anything from that Super Bowl game plan that carried over to today, or was it pretty much game plan for completely different teams?
Yeah, I mean, they had different stuff. We had different stuff. I mean, we're both teams are doing what they do, but I mean, there's wrinkles in there, obviously, for matchups, injuries, and so on. So, but I wouldn't tell you it's just a completely different offense or defense and that. And Kyle's got a lot of guys, man. He's going through that same thing, trying to make sure guys can get in and go. And 2-4 is giving him some real healthy yards there, man, running hard. And so that's, he's doing a heck of a job of what he's got there. And guys are making plays for him. That tight end had a few big plays today. He's pretty good. All right, we good? All right.
Obviously, Big Red happy with all three phases of this game leading to this victory over the 49ers, 28-18. Let's start with the offense, because you and I have talked about it. So has the rest of the league. Team came in at 29th in the league in red zone touchdown efficiency. Today, they were stellar. 4 touchdowns, no field goals.
And we talked about how that was one of the keys in this game. Not just the Chiefs being good in the red zone, but also making sure the 49ers weren't good in the red zone offensively. Both of these offenses have moved the football up and down the field, but struggled in the red zone. Well, if you look at the numbers, 49ers kept struggling in the red zone offensively here in this game, and the Chiefs did not, particularly early with Kareem Hunt finishing off those 2 drives with touchdowns. Then Patrick Mahomes, who goes empty on 4th and inches at the goal line, except for Andy Reid. So awesome, but Patrick Mahomes finds a way to punch that in for a touchdown. And of course, McCole Hardman iced it at the very end.
And somewhere Titans fans were watching Mahomes go for 33 yards on his run that led to the...
Just faking guys out. Fred Warner misses the tackle.
And I'm telling you. But let's go to the defensive side. This defense, the NFL's best defense, let's just call it out. Another game where they hold an opponent under 28 points, in fact 18. But the 3 interceptions, to intercept Brock Purdy 3 times, and 2 by rookies. Let's take the Christian Roland Wallace interception first, because San Francisco had all the momentum at that point and could have taken the lead.
Yeah, huge play by Christian Roland Wallace. Of course, Jalen Watson gets hurt, had to go back to the locker room. So Christian Roland Wallace, UDFA rookie out of Arizona and USC, comes in. Moment isn't too big for him. Picks off Brock Purdy. 3 interceptions for Purdy here in this game. Jaden Hicks, another rookie, also had a pick in the end zone. Enormous play. And don't forget about the pressure on Purdy from this defensive front. So he was only sacked 1 time. George Karlaftis had a sack early in the game. But this defense registered 6 quarterback hits. Trent McDuffie had a quarterback hit early in the game on 3rd down, messed up Purdy's throw. And then George Karlaftis is the reason Jaden Hicks had that interception, messed up the aerodynamics of the throw.
And I believe 6 passes defense and 31 attempts and 3 interceptions for Purdy. So the other part of this was special teams. You and I in our study all throughout the week thought, man, the Chiefs could control it and maybe capture the game that way. McCole Hardman, we talked about this earlier, but let's dive into it again. That 54-yard punt return, his read, his explosion. He loves this place. He's had some of his best regular season games in this venue. But how big was that punt return and the execution?
It was huge. I mean, think about the momentum of the game. When you're playing a team like the 49ers, we're very evenly matched with them, and they have momentum at points in this game as well. But that punt return really kind of established the fact that we're here to beat you here in this game. McCole Hardman, so happy for him, of course, now back in Kansas City. Just loves playing the 49ers, particularly in this building, apparently.
And Noah Gray was also good in this game. But we also saw the worst onside kick attempt in the history of the National Football League. Mitch Wisniewski's been in this league a long time. Wow, that wasn't very good.
Just makes me very grateful for the special teams unit that we have here in Kansas City. I think it's the best in the NFL. Of course, there's going to be mistakes sometimes, but more often than not, our special teams come through. We saw it here today.
Chiefs 6-0. Let's get more reaction.
I think just execution. Obviously, we were able to run the football. That was big. That's a really good defensive line, and the O-line stepped up, and we were able to run it down there. And we found a way to get in the end zone. And when you get in the end zone, you get points on the board. Now it's about cleaning up the turnovers. I think if we could do that, we can start hitting our stride.
Patrick, it looked like Collins either punched you or grabbed your throat on that play. Could you tell us what happened? And it did seem to kind of fire you up even more.
I mean, I'm hoping that he didn't intentionally. I don't think he really intentionally tried to hit me in the throat. I think he was trying to just push me in the chest there, and he's taller than me. So I threw the pick. I don't know if I was fired up from that or if I was fired up because I threw my second pick, and it kind of hurt our defense there in that situation. And so we continue to just make strides in the right direction, but at the same time, we make these mistakes, especially me. And so we're winning football games, which is awesome, but we're going to try to continue to get better.
When you, on that same vein, when you ran for the touchdown, were you still kind of feeling that fired up, and did you kind of seek the contact?
No, I actually was not trying to lower my shoulder. I was trying to absorb the hit, because I knew I was going to be right there in the end zone. And that dad bod, man, just had enough weight on me where he went down. So it wasn't like I was necessarily trying to seek out contact. I was trying to absorb it and get in the end zone, and just ended up looking good for me.
When was the last time you were able to lower your shoulder?
The last time I lowered my shoulder was against Iowa State, and I had an AC sprain, and then Iowa State beat me by 56 points. So I've stayed away from that.
Did dad bod help you on the scramble down the sideline?
Yeah, it was. I was actually was stopping and was gonna try to just get the first down, and I haven't seen the play, but the dude either overran or kind of got a little bit of a block there, and so once I got on the sideline, it opened up, and I was able to get down there, and I thought about cutting it back, but I'll save that for the playoffs, and then right now I'm going to just continue to run out of bounds.
What's the benefit of playing these games that have this high level of intensity?
Yeah, I think it's just you get the best of the best, and that prepares you for the playoffs. I think that's the biggest thing. Is it's obviously fun to win and score a lot of points, but whenever you play these high tense moments against the great teams in the NFL, you see where you're at, and we were able to find ways to get a win today as our defense just continues to play special, honestly, and offensively we're able to run the ball and find a way to get in the end zone. But I think we can get so much better, and so we're going to continue to work at that and try to continue to get better as the season goes on.
You played against, I know you don't do a lot against the ones during the week, but Chris Roland Wallace has not been with the ones. I assume you played against him quite a bit in practice. What have you seen from
He's a good football player. He's been like that since training camp, and you can see it. Some guys just have it. You can see it from day one, and he's gotten better and better. You can tell he really listens to Spags, to Coach Merritt, to all the coaches, and the players. And so he sits there and he listens to Trent talk, and he's gotten better and better each and every week. And he stepped up today, and whenever his number was called, and I think it was like 2 rookies got interceptions, if I'm right. So it was cool to see those guys get in the game and make plays.
Patrick, you guys are 6-0. Go ahead. You guys are 6-0, but nothing seems like it's come easily for you all. Is that frustrating, or does it make it that much more rewarding when you're able to find different ways to win?
I don't want to say it doesn't come easily, because we're winning games against good teams by a good amount of points, and that's as easy as it. I mean, that's easy for the NFL, but I just don't think it's normal for what you've seen from us, because there's not a lot of passing touchdowns. There's been a lot of turnovers, especially by me, and so I think it's just showing the versatility of our team. It's not just about me. It's not just about the stats and the light show and stuff like that. It's about playing team football, and I believe that if we continue to work, we'll get better offensively, throwing the ball down the field. But until then, it's nice to know that we have a great running game. We got a great defense, and we're able to execute whenever the time comes to win football games.
Patrick, the interceptions, any common threads there from your perspective?
The first one, the guy was open. Jody was open on the slant. It was going to be a catch and tackle, trying to just gain some back because we were in second and long. The D-line made a good play. He got his hands up, knocked it up there, and made a pick. And then the second one was just trying to go to my matchup with Xavier, and obviously you saw the feet got tangled up there, and he ended up losing his balance and falling down, and their guy made a good play. I mean, I felt like in the interceptions I was going to the right direction in the right spot. Just you get unlucky sometimes, but I gotta still clean it up, and that's stuff I have to work on. There's too many interceptions that put our defense in bad spots, and so in order for us to even take another step, it's going to be about me taking care of the football, scoring those touchdowns in the red zone like we did today, and then letting our defense really eat and letting Spags be Spags.
A couple more guys will go. Balhead and Sam. Go ahead.
Patrick, it seemed pretty chippy overall today in a lot of ways. I wonder if on the touchdown, it looked like you had something to say. Are we going to hear you on mic'd up with, like, you woke up the wrong gentleman? Or
I don't know what I said. I think I just said, I hope I scored a touchdown. So it was, I got pretty hyped up there just because it was 4th down and got in the end zone in a big moment. But I don't remember exactly what I said.
Patrick, on that play, the McColl slipped going out. How similar was that to the play?
Similar motion, a different play, but a similar motion just based off how they guard the motions. And I wish, when I look back on it, because I kind of threw it, and then my next read was coming across the field, and I think he was wide open. So he slipped, and he was going to be open, and it's not there. It's just about finding a way to reset back, get to your next read, and I might still be able to throw a touchdown, even though we didn't show it exactly how it was drawn up.
Thanks, Patrick.
The Chiefs love to use multiple tight ends. They did so today, but this guy was really big. Noah Gray, 57 yards receiving on the one drive. Your thoughts on that? And starting with the big one, you got the 20-pluser.
You know what's even bigger, Mitch? Your 300th win today. I think that is the true story that we got to talk about right now. Congratulations, man. A true Chiefs kingdom. Mitch Holthus right here, guys. Mitch Holthus. 300 wins, man. How's it feel?
Great, because you've chalked up a lot of those since you've been here, buddy. Leo Minster, wherever you're from. But the fact that, let's go back to you got me off track. The big 26-yarder earlier that got things cooking on that first drive. Your thoughts on that play?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was just thinking, if I do well this drive, this will be Mitch's 300th win. And if we continue to work hard at that, and just stick to the game plan, working, together as a team with Pat and the guys, we got a chance to get Mitch that win. And I think that's all I was focused on that drive. I just saw 300 coming right at my hands and, made the catch. And, all glory to God, man. And Pat doing a great job out there, O-line, man. And, we got the dub for you.
I'll give you all glory to God. I'm with you on that one, brother. But let's talk about the screen. I love the way you run those screens. You run that little inside screen. What about executing that and what it takes?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great setup from the start. I'll be serious here, too. I got you, brother. But it was a great setup from the start. O-line did a phenomenal job. Pat did a great job, looking downfield, looking off and dumbing the ball down to me. But it's just a credit to Coach Reed and his game plan and Coach Nags and all the other coaches that are involved in that and setting that up for when the time's right to run the play.
And then to be able to kind of fight back. They had kind of seized control of the momentum. What about those last 2 touchdown drives and kind of taking the will out of them?
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I think that just goes back to day one when we show up for camp in St. Joseph, Missouri. Just grinding, long drive drill, working with your guys next to you, fighting for your brothers. It just really makes it worth it, knowing that everyone that you line up next to has the same goal in mind, and that's to go punch that ball down in the end zone. So it's a testament to the guys that have been working since fall camp and every single week up until this point.
You're asked to do so much in this offense. All the tight ends are, all four of you. But to be able to block for guys, now Kareem Hunt, to block for him, for Samaje Perine or Carson Steele, what's it like to block for those guys?
Oh, it's great. It makes my job easier. You know what I mean? When guys are just hitting holes, running through arm tackles, it just makes me blocking easier. It takes a lot of pressure and stress off me all week and during the game. And I can just go out there and cut it loose knowing that we got some great guys back there running the rock.
You got me, now I'm going to get you, because you said all glory to God. You know an image that I have that'll never leave me as long as I have oxygen on this earth? You walk back out at Super Bowl 58. I was out there on the field, but then I came walking in the tunnel. You didn't see me. You walked back out all by yourself and just looked around and said a prayer. That moment, because we're going to try to do it again, but that moment for you, what did that mean at that time?
Yeah, I mean, prayer is just so big for me in my life, and I do it every game. I do it within the game, and I think it just gives me comfort. When I walked out on that field, it knew that there's a lot of football left moving forward, and it's just really all glory to God that I was able to be standing there healthy after that game. Just so grateful to God that I'm standing here right now with you right now, 300 wins, competing every single week with the guys next to me for our common goal, and that's just to win every single week that we possibly can when we come out here. So it just really grounds me, calms me down, and it just really gives all the glory. It was a great day. Today was a great win, but it always goes up to God.
Keep chopping it up, man. It was an image I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Seeing Noah walk back out there all by himself. Noah Gray, stud today, big win.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything that we've seen in training camp in the preseason. Those guys were making plays then, consistent players, humble, very hungry, willing to learn, and it shows up. And, they show up ready to go. They never know when their number's called, but they're always ready to go. And they got to make 2 big-time plays when we needed them to. So we're going to need them down the stretch even more, and they're going to show up more for us, and we're confident in that. But C-Row getting that, the toe trap swag on the sideline, and then Jaden Hicks a pick in the end zone. 2 big-time plays.
What is it about SPAC's preparation with you guys, and Coach Merritt too, with that defensive back group, that those guys weren't expected maybe to be on those specific plays and just come in ready to go?
No, it's the unity that we have, not just in our room but across the whole defense. Like, we have a team that truly prepares the next man. Like, we help the next man. We're all in. We communicate daily. We talk about what if this happens, what if that happens. The next man up, we take time after practice that we meet up on our own time. We still talk coverage, and it works. And guys are confident out there, and we pride ourselves on our physicality. That, across the board, DBs, we tackle. We're physical, and we're going to play press coverage, and we're going to make it tough on you. And you got to find ways to beat us.
Justin, the way you're playing on defense this year, does it remind you at all of last year? Do you see some significant differences?
Yeah, every year in the league is always different. So there's some things that's similar. I think that the results are nice, but we're doing it in different ways, and different players are showing up. Chris is continually dominant, but it's kind of like, who's the guy this week that's going to show up and have a big-time game? And what's nice is that, guys are showing up when their number's called and making the plays when we need them to. We just got to, remain humble and remain hungry and continue to pursue that going forward, not get comfortable with where we are now, but always seek ways to get better.
I know the schedule is what it is, but did you guys all look at the schedule and say, okay, we're playing the Niners, this is going to be a rematch of the Super Bowl?
You know what? We take it 1 week at a time. We said it, they said it. This is just the next game on our schedule. And we prepared for it accordingly. And to us, it was the most important game of the year because it was a game this week. And next week when we play the Raiders, that'll be the most important game of the year because it's a game that week. So we try not to get too far ahead. We try not to make things bigger, and we try and keep it as simple and as clear as we possibly can so that we can just go out there and play fast and play confident.
Does the expectations increase, though, that you guys, of course, are the only undefeated team left now?
Absolutely, expectations always increase, but we're up for the challenge of it. You know what I mean? We want to remain constant with who we are. We're not going to get out of our shell. We're not going to try and be anything that we're not. We're just going to continue to buy into the defense as one unit, one team, one heartbeat. Buy into what we do. We have a saying called the formula this year. Buy into the formula of who we are as a Kansas City Chiefs and continue to run with that.
A couple more guys. Well, Steven and Sam. Go Steve.
Jay Reeves Fags talked about early on in the season, you guys starting faster. It seems like you guys are kind of going out there and setting the tone. How important is that?
Huge. Every week we talk about the first series because, the first 3-4 weeks of the season, we're giving up points on the first series. So it has been an extreme emphasis to start fast on the first drive of the game and make sure that we build on top of that as the game goes on, just be consistent, win in the red zone, win on third down, win on fourth down, because those are critical situations. So I think the guys have done a phenomenal job buying into that, and we just got to continue to do it.
And you talked about the young guys. You got to pick today yourself. What did you see on that?
It was just out there playing ball. We're playing man coverage. They ran what we call a speedo route with Kittle running the over route, vertical route on the sideline. I saw that Purdy tried to roll out, but he had pressure in his face. I think it was George. And that pressure, when you see pressure in the quarterback's face and you see a guy have a window, that gives you leeway as a free safety that you can come out the post. Now, there wasn't pressure in his face, so I would have to stay back. But pressure in his face, the ball's coming out. So I was able to just dive in on that and make a play on the ball and, get a pick.
Justin, you talked a minute ago about extreme emphasis on starting faster defensively. What does that look like? I mean, you guys talk about it more? Do you do something in practice that maybe to emphasize that?
Yeah, it starts with stopping the run first. It starts, we pride ourselves on our run defense. It starts with stopping the run. And then it's just eye control and discipline and communication. Making sure that we talk to each other. No coverage busts, no missed tackles in the opening drive. We don't want missed tackles regardless, but no missed tackles in the opening drive because we don't want to allow the other team to get going and then get those wheels spinning and then, turn into a situation where you're trying to stop the bleeding. We'd rather try and smother you now.
Justin, where did that formula thing come from? Who came up with that, and what's the meaning of that to you guys?
Yeah, that was actually from last season, heading to the Super Bowl. That was a Travis Kelce saying. Talking about our identity and what we've done to get to the point to get ready to play this game in the Super Bowl and just remaining consistent to who we are, not changing who we are, following the process, buying into the program that Coach Reed sets forth before us, and just continuing to do that. And, it became our motto. It became a calling card and became our motto this year.
Did you guys as a defense in particular use
Absolutely. We use that motto. We use another motto saying demand better, which is, again, in comparison to last year that we did some good things, but not to get complacent or get comfortable, but find ways to be even better than what we did last year and, keep raising the bar week in and week out.
Thanks, Justin.
Yep. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, definitely get more comfortable each week. I demand myself to get better and better, and I give it up to the O-line for, helping me get the pushes to get in there.
Green, how do you evaluate Patrick's running back skills?
He good at making people miss in space, and he's just a playmaker. Whenever the ball's in his hand, he can make the plays with his arm or his legs.
Did you get a good view of his touchdown? He kind of didn't really make him miss.
That's
ran him over.
Yeah, Pat's bigger than people think now. He dropped the shoulder on him. I like that.
You had the two short rushing touchdowns, and a couple other guys had one each.
Mm-hmm.
What's the key to running the ball down there when the yards are going to be that much tougher?
The key is it's a mentality, man. Everybody got to be on the same page. Everybody got to try to push and finish their guys in the end zone. And, there you really don't want to make too many cuts. You put your head down and, drive them.
Kareem, is there a new appreciation you have playing with Travis this time around? And what's it like with him in the huddle, in the locker room, obviously week to week?
We Cleveland guys, we've been close. Even when I was still with the Browns, me and him stayed, close. He always, when he came back home, we'd hang out, get food, just chill. But, yeah, that's a brother to me. And, it feels good going out there and laying it all on the line for, definitely Trav and Pat and the whole rest of the organization. So I'm just excited to be back, man, and doing everything in my power to help him win.
Can you tell that Travis has maybe been better as a blocker this year than maybe people realize, considering you have the rock a lot of times?
I can tell. And, you know, he got to make those, you know, big blocks, and then I know he's going to make the plays when the ball's thrown to him and everything like that. So, you know, he's been doing a good job of finishing. I appreciate that from him.
Hey, Kareem, you talked about, you know, brotherhood and being thinking about your guy, former teammate Nick Chubb came back today, scored a touchdown. Your thoughts on that? Because I know you.
Man, I was so happy. I was honestly watching the game on my phone, like almost till I had to go out there and warm up. But a guy like that, man, he works hard every day, and you know I couldn't be happier for him. You know, especially seeing him get out there and you know get in the end zone, and you know I just wish him nothing the best. I know he's gonna keep getting better and better each week. You know.
Okay, thanks, Kareem.
Yep, thank you.
Chiefs win it 28-18. Here's we close things out here in Santa Clara. I'm really proud of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
He is the pitcher that can throw 98 miles an hour, but he can also throw an 83-mile-an-hour sweeper and get you out. It's not about stats with Patrick. He just keeps chalking up wins. And today I just thought he showed a lot of guts and maturity and also humility to say, I'm not going to throw for 300 passing yards, but we're going to beat these dudes.
This is why he's the best quarterback in the NFL, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Kind of cool Tom Brady was calling the game here today and watch Patrick do this, but he doesn't care about people on Twitter saying he has a lot of interceptions, any of that. Doesn't care about the stats. It's all about winning in the end. Think about his resiliency in this game. So after the Chris Rowland-Wallace interception, he leads a 13-play, 79-yard touchdown drive. Found Travis Kelce on third down to keep the chains rolling. Had a 33-yard run that we talked about earlier that was shades of that Tennessee game back in 2019. Just incredible. And then on 4th and inches from the goal line, runs it in for a touchdown. And then on the next drive, he leads a 12-play drive with 10 runs. The only 2 passes were third down conversions, one of them to Noah Gray.
And that Noah catch, I wish I would have asked Noah about it when we had Noah. That's a heck of a play by Noah and by Pat.
By both players. So Patrick Mahomes, he's the best player in the NFL. It's not all about stats and numbers. It's about what you see with your eyes. And moments like this against the 49ers, he came through once again.
The winningest quarterback now, 102 games into his career, the winningest quarterback by far, and a crazy amount, nearing 40 road wins in his career. Let's talk about Leo Chenal here because it's so easy to take him for granted. He was all over the place in this game. Coverage, pressure, special teams. He's having a heck of a year. He's in that Turk Wharton category that I'm not sure we appreciate him enough.
When you have a great defense like this that's held 27 consecutive opponents under 28 total points and 4 straight opponents under 20 points, it comes from a lot of different places. It's not just your superstars every single time. And Leo Chenal is really coming into his own in the NFL, just making play after play. Also almost blocked a couple punts today, too.
And the offensive line. I'm telling you, we could take Trey Smith for granted, Creed Humphrey, Joe Thuney in particular. The tackles started to rally. But when the Chiefs and the 49ers knew they had to run it, they just took it on they put the piano on their back. They were awesome in this game and took the fight to San Francisco.
And they love that. Ooh, Trey Smith talked about that earlier in the week. This wants to be a physical football team that's going to punch you in the mouth, bring the fight to you. And the 49ers want to be that as well. I mean, great pass rushers and defensive linemen on the 49ers, guys like Nick Bosa, but Trey Smith, Juwan Taylor, Joe Thuney, all these guys, they want to say, we're going to punch you in the mouth all day long. They did that here in this one.
Andy Reid is a remarkable 22-4 after bye weeks now. And for Kansas City, the first 6-0 start since Andy's first year in 2013, and we knew it was going to be different when he came into town, and man, has it been different. And there is no slowing down.
No, there's not. And like Noah said, 300 wins for this guy. Congratulations, Mitch.
You're too kind, and you looked it up. You're the guy that dug that out. Anyway, Chiefs get it, and headed now to play the Raiders next week in Las Vegas. For Matt McMullen, I'm Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs. Let's go, Chiefs Kingdom. Don't slow down.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs. And by CommunityAmerica Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.